Today's podcast is brought to you by a company who we have been using for years and takes up significant shelf space inside of our own kitchen. Biosteel Sports Nutrition.
It was a product created out of necessity 8 years ago and is trusted by athletes like Connor McDavid, Tyler Seguin, Brooke Henderson, Rosie MacLennan, and Andrew Wiggins.
They're really a leader in sports drinks for everyone, from professional athletes to everyday champions.
Understand something, guys. Nothing worth ever having in this world comes easy.
Do what these champions doing if you're going to be a champion.
You control your outcome.
Who am I?
I'm a champion.
What up, champions, and welcome back to a brand new Biosteel breakdown. As always, I'm your host, Adrian, with my co-host,
Sylvie.
And we're back breaking it down. And if it's your first time, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Champ Life community. If you're a long-time listener, thank you for your loyalty. We just ask that you share these out. If this is something that resonates with you, if this episode in particular resonates with you, then let other people know about it. Send it to your friends, post it online, do something like that for us and help it grow. We do one every Friday, so I'm sure some of them will be more your speed, some will be less, but we appreciate you coming back and listening. And so today, we're talking about something pretty close to your heart, right?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about?
Strength training for women.
We're talking about getting jacked. And this is a really interesting topic. And before we get into this, I just want to mention that I think the company or the philosophy or idea that has done the most for women in weightlifting is CrossFit. And they get pooped on a lot by strength and conditioning coaches that work in high performance athletics. I think more often than they should, based on all the great things that they brought to the fitness community. And this is one of them. They've made it cool to be in the gym. They made it cool to be strong, and they've made it cool to be part of a community for women to weightlift and to get jacked. And so,
absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
I think for so long there was this stigma that's been perpetuated through all these publications, like whether it's a magazine or a TV show or a movie or a YouTube video, where the idea that lifting weights somehow turns you into a mustache man has existed for decades, basically, at this point. And when you look at these videos or these magazine articles on these women with, like, quote unquote great bodies, like stereotypical model bodies, they do exercises for 40 reps, and they're with bands or light weights, and there's very few people out there in the mainstream that are pushing strength training and the value of it. And so we want to add our little bit and hopefully motivate one or two to get in the gym.
Yes. So. And I think this culture is changing, like you said, due to things like CrossFit and, the whole strong women movement. But yeah, it's still perceived that lifting weights can mean you get bulky. And this is a conversation I have with all my female clients all the time. The number one thing is that it is so difficult hormonally for us to even remotely turn into men due to weightlifting. There's impossible unless you have some serious help.
There are weight rooms full of 18 and 19-year-old boys that would love to get bulky, and they have as much testosterone running through their body as they ever will have, and yet they cannot accomplish the task.
Yeah, and it's the long game, this is for everybody. You don't just become strong one day from doing one set of bicep curls. You do, several exercises over a long period of time, and then you keep getting stronger. So it's never a destination, it's a process, right? So I think I want to just break down some of the benefits, especially for women, when it comes to strength training. And I can speak on all of these personally. So number one is that in gaining lean muscle mass, you will lose fat. So muscle will help us to burn fat. And that's one big misconception, is that we focus on fat burning separately from muscle building, and muscle building will help you to lose fat. And so increasing that metabolic rate, so the amount of calories that you're burning on a really regular basis, daily basis, our basal metabolic rate will increase the more that you build more lean muscle mass, which is awesome. So it's getting lean with lifting weights, so lifting heavier weights. One of the big ones for me in particular is injury prevention. So although I've had some major injuries from sports that I've played and from being an active person, the rehabilitation process and the strength that I've gained from doing strength and resistance training is amazing. And it's, again, in terms of decreasing injury, like if we're, you know, not strengthening these muscles, and what happens is our joints will degenerate. And so it's so important to help to build this up. And then one big thing for, you know, women in particular is osteoporosis. So we can be very prone to this. So it helps to strengthen our bones, make them stronger. I'm sure you guys have heard several times when people do get diagnosed with this, that it can be pretty devastating. And so strength training will help this. So starting early is very important. Yeah. I mean, I wish I had started earlier than university, but enhancing mood is a big one because, I mean, I'm a different person when I don't strength train or weight train. I feel that it makes me feel so good. And when you are strong, it gives you so much liberation to do other things. So
you have this amazing confidence, right?
You have amazing confidence when you're strong. Like, you know, I use the pull-up as an example all the time. Like, you know, I get women coming to me like, oh, I'm just naturally not ever going to be able to do a pull-up because I have zero upper body strength. But the amazing thing about strength training is that you can train yourself to be able to do that. And injuries aside, you know, like I said, strength is a progressive thing that you can build up. There was a time when I hung from the bar and was not able to do a single pull up as well. So it's,
and now you do
10. So it's it's an awesome thing in terms of confidence, mood. There's obviously those natural endorphins that happen when you exercise, and strength training is no different. So, you know, although we get a lot of that with aerobic exercise as well, strength training, you will get a lot of those benefits. And then also, you know, when you're strong, it just gives you that, you know, edge to be strong in all other areas of your life. I truly believe that. So like we mentioned, confidence, but also, you know, things like productivity and just every aspect of your life it can translate to.
Well, we've talked about this before, how like it's kind of two separate ideas, but both linked. One, whatever you accomplish in that weight room or whatever you accomplish in training, you accomplished. No one can take that away from you.
Absolutely.
No one can ever say it was given to you. No one can ever take that away from you. I could do 0 pull-ups and now I could do 10. I could squat 10 pounds and now I can squat 200. Like no one can ever take that from you. And that's very valuable to know that you did that and that no one else did that and that was yours. And so I think that's really important. The second thing is exactly what you said. It exposes you to difficult situations daily. So it builds your resiliency. It builds your perseverance. I went in and this was really hard, but I did it. Okay, so now this tax form is really hard, but I can do it because I did that thing already today. And so
absolutely. Anything you want to add on female strength training?
No, I think it's awesome. I think that's great. I mean, it's better if you talk to it than I do. Like as a strength coach, I actually often like my female clients more than my male clients because they're better listeners, quite frankly. And no, I think it's awesome. Like I have a couple of female clients who have been with me now for a little over a year. And actually a couple of days ago, we were talking about how they can do 3 sets of 10 push-ups now. And when they came in, they could do 0 push-ups. And now they can do 3 sets of 10. And it's really cool to see them get excited. And yeah, it's good.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Are there specific exercises that you would do with males that you wouldn't do with females?
Are there specific exercises?
Or vice versa.
Versa?
So I get asked this a lot. I think there's a lot of, you know, situational.
Yeah, I think it's different if a female's pregnant, like that's a different situation. But like both healthy, like no issues at all. No, I don't think so. I mean, there might need to be a variation or two based on the person, but there's everything. I think everything's open to everybody, and I think that's really important.
Awesome.
So I would say no. I would say everyone can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was very inclusive of me, but it's true. And so, yeah, I hope this is good. Especially if you have a younger female in your life, I would really push her to start to train and start to get in the gym and be active. And it's amazing for you. Movement is an amazing thing, and we should always take advantage of it and never take it for granted, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a wrap. Check back next Friday. Brand new episode will be coming out. As always, head over to biosteel.com. Use the code word
Champ Lifestyle, capital C, capital L.
And you can grab 15% off your very next order I think that's it, right? Anything else?
That's it.
That's a wrap, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next Friday.